like the sky, and your spirit is one with me. Your wings span the mighty ocean, your eyes see everything. The slightest of your motions can make the continents ring. Yet in all your mighty glory, vanished from the skies, leaving just another story, missed beneath man-made lies. They tell of how you fell from the sky.
All right. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another edition of the Free American Hour. I'm your host, Clay Douglas. And I want to tell you, I would like for you to go to my website and click on the article, the latest article I put up, Most Dangerous Men. The guest that I've had, oh my God, here, what's happening here? Hang on, man, let me see. I'm trying to get on all of my stations here, and I'm having a hard time. Okay, evidently we're not going to get on Crusade host line now. Wonder why. Oh well, we'll try one more time. Trying to get through into not letting us. Okay, let's see if we can get my guest out there. Let's see if I can have a little bit better luck there. Age of computers is great. Just a little bit behind here.
Hey there.
Hey, Bruce. I hope you finished your calls and got caught up. I really appreciate you being on with me today.
Hey, you'll have to give me 1 minute. I'll be right back.
All right, sir. We're going to be talking with Bruce Curtis, and his websites are linked up on the website, livingwaterusa.com, livingfoodsusa.com. And every day I do this radio show, I get harassed. I get harassed by people that don't agree with me and all that. But this is what happens. These people try to shout you down. They try to shut you up. If you're getting out any information that is contrary to what the government wants you to hear, wants you to know, and it's not the government per se. You know, I've been asked, hey, Clay, are you are you anti-government? Why are you anti-government? I'm not anti-government. Unless the government that we were promised, guaranteed by the Constitution, has somehow been usurped and turned into a complete communist agenda. It's interesting that it's interesting that we've been so sidetracked that the patriots, the people that are trying to get the truth out, well, you know, yes, Kennedy was shot. Who did it? You know, wasn't Oswald. There was the two guys on the railroad bridge. You know, so what's the harm in knowing the truth? It's because they don't want you to know the kind of government that they have turned us into, I think. What's your opinion, Bruce?
Well, it's funny you mentioned Oswald, because I saw that they completely erased his testimony when they first approached Oswald at the jail. They told him when somebody asked him, "What do you know about the president?" And he said, "The president's been shot." He didn't even know.
No.
It's ridiculous how much stuff is pulled over the wool of the eyes of the people, we're not really dealing with a legitimate government. We're dealing with a corporation that is basically controlling people's lives and has them locked into a form of slavery. We live on a plantation, and it's just a travesty what's going on.
I've got a film out called No Such Thing as a New World Order. I said, you know, our founding fathers fought the New World Order of their day. The sun never sets on the English Empire. You know, Jesus fought the New World Order of his day. That was Rome, wasn't it?
Rome, and it's still Rome. All roads lead to Rome.
Yes.
You've seen the Vatican banking scandals. This is something that should go to the courts now. They found slush funds for, you know, many Americans, the Obamas, including Obama's mother-in-law, all the Clintons, all the Bushes, even Chelsea Clinton, even John Boehner, and then members of the Joint Chiefs. They found slush funds in the Vatican Bank, and this investigation into Del Bosco and those securities that were caught in Italy, and the investigation led into the Vatican Bank, and there they found all these accounts, and the money for the accounts had come from Treasury, from the United States Treasury. So what could be clearer? That the people are stealing money, and it goes right back to Rome. We're in a terrible situation now, and the global system is tightening its control.
You know, it's interesting. I refer to you know, like the Catholic religion is kind of the Pauline Christianity. And I get attacked a lot for Tex Mars still won't talk to me because of that. but you know, in Jesus' day, Rome was there, the soldiers were there, and the Pharisees that Jesus was running against, the money changers in the temple. I mean, I see the same thing happening right now today. It's just on a little exaggerated scale because we've got certainly the technology now to do that.
You're absolutely right. The three classes of people that upset Jesus the most, he said, "Woe unto you lawyers." He spoke to the priests. He didn't like the priests because they were keeping things from the people. And then, of course, the money changers, he overturned the tables, like you said. So the three classes of people are the three classes that are tied together in this New World Order. And
now, what is the connection? Let me ask you. You know, I get slammed about this more than anything, and this is what I'm talking about in this article that I've got out. It's up on my website. It's called it's right at the top, right under my logo. It says America's Most Dangerous Men. Outlaws? Really? You know, it seems that our founding fathers were outlaws. They were rebels. They were anti-government extremists, weren't they?
obviously.
So I feel like that kind of puts me in good company, I think, to be attacked so hard here. You know, I used to wonder why are they attacking me so hard? I mean, I'm not Rush Limbaugh up here. I don't have the money behind me to do that. Why would they be attacking me? The last time they ran me in NAACP, well, Clay started the militia. Hard to sue them for libel because I did. I mean, what part of the Second Amendment don't you understand is what I had told the Albuquerque Journal.
Well, you know, it's funny. The mindset of the people has been so transformed that now they don't even understand what type of government or what type of country we should have. We have a little sign outside of our office that says, "Welcome to the Free Republic of Kansas." And some guy from a neighboring town made a comment at a Chamber of Commerce meeting here in Lawrence, and also comments that got into the newspapers in articles. He was quoted, but he objected to our sign. You know, first of all, he objected to Lawrence. He said he didn't think it was a very good community. He said, and I don't like that. I don't approve of that sign that's up there, "Welcome to the Free Republic of Kansas." And I would like to publicly debate that guy and ask him, you know, what is it? Are you a communist? Do you object to the word republic, which is in the Constitution, it's in the Pledge of Allegiance? Or do you object to the word free? Are you a slaveholder? What's your problem? I mean, this is the mentality we're up against, people who really, basically, I don't think they have enough brains to cross the street safely.
Yeah, Bruce, I've said recently, with all the, it's I've been working at this, trying to restore the republic, trying to support my oath to defend the Constitution for 20 years, and all I've got is harassment for it. I have a real hard time. So I've started to think, well, maybe the elite are right when they say they don't have the intelligence to govern themselves. Our founding fathers gave us a chance to do that, but Benjamin Franklin, I mean, he told the woman that walking outside of the Constitution Hall there, "What form of government have you wrought for us, Mr. Franklin? A constitutional republic, if you can keep it, ma'am."
Yeah, if you can keep it, that's our task.
Now, Grandma has been working at this with her trust, trying to restore her trust. She's had her trust taken from her. We're talking about Ms. Durham here. And the trust has been in her family for 100 years. Bruce, you've been working with Grandma. I've known Grandma since I started Free American. She's been a subscriber. She's been getting my magazine. I believe she just put my latest article about all the harassment that we're getting up out there, the most dangerous men, on my website.
Yes.
And she's had these FA patriots like Contact that was operating when I was selling the Free American nationwide. They tried to steal her whole trust. And it turned out that they were agents of the government, weren't they?
Yeah, that's true. And it goes on and on. It happens over and over again because they have nothing. They are debtors. They are counterfeiters, money launderers, economic terrorists. And they just want to prey upon other people. They're life forms that prey upon other people. And she's had trouble recently with others associated with Tim Turner. And these people end up going away when she uncovers what they're about. They go away with the sour grapes attitude. We don't want to work with the trust. We have not approved working with the trust. Well, I'm sorry, but that's not the case. You who are not approved, all you people with your own money agenda, your commerce gurus, and all of you people of greed, we have nothing of that. That's what destroyed this country. Pure greed and desire to control others. And that's what's so, I know, Clay, you posed the question, why would they come after you? Well, what I find is that these people are so insatiable, they have such a black hole in their soul, that they will not stop at nothing. They want to control every little resource on the planet, every human being, everything that is said, everything that is thought. They want to control every drop of energy that goes anywhere on this planet. And that's just the way they are, because they are of their father. That's what Jesus said, you are of your father, the devil. And that people don't understand what that means, but it means that we're dealing with another life, another, maybe another seed, a demon spawn or a seed of wickedness that gets into people, and they become made in an image of darkness, of wickedness.
There's been, to me, it's real simple. We're put in this body, we're given free will, we got a direct link to the Creator, we call it a soul, and then the religions come in and try to step in between you. It was against the rules to read the Bible back in the when the Catholic Church was ruling. When the Catholic Church launched the last crusade against the Muslims that they've launched again. Now, both the Jesuits, that's like the Catholic Church's black ops. They're like the Catholic Church's CIA, and maybe it is the CIA. The Mossad. Again, I just put this in my story that the Mossad, the CIA, the MI6, and the KGB were all agents of the same banksters.
Mm-hmm.
that control all of the governments, control both sides. This is what they've always done. And when you're starting to point out, they don't call it the New World Order for nothing. They don't call pharmaceutical. They don't call pharmaceuticals, witchcraft. They don't for nothing. They don't call television programming for nothing, folks. You are being programmed to be a good slave. Don't rebel against your masters. Oh, excuse me. That's a Pauline Christianity quote.
Oops. Yeah, well, I think you proposed a good thing with mentioning this Vatican CIA, because a lot of people think the CIA is the top deal, but they actually, there is, even in our country, there's an elector of there's a Jesuit who is the counselor for the CIA and for the FBI. I'm trying to find him on this document. I have a document called Vatican Assassin.
Yes, yes.
You have that probably.
But the Vatican, they've also, there's certain Jewish groups out there that are pointing the finger at the Catholics and the Jesuits, and I think somehow. There's no difference between Wallace was right. There's no difference between Republicans and Democrats. Two wings of the same bird, and these this Jewish Catholic cabal, if they're controlling both the Jewish religion and the Christian religion, then they're pretty much controlling the world's religion, and their one enemy would be the Muslims, who actually had everything in common with the Christians when it began. They worshipped one God. And then suddenly they've been turned into our enemy by the Catholic Church throughout the years. What role is what do you see? Now, anytime you start talking about what's happening in Israel, and they got 400 nuclear weapons, and Saddam Hussein didn't have any, and the only weapons of mass destruction Saddam Hussein was what we gave him to go after Iran.
Yeah, I think that you'll find that Israel got deep control. Now, what you have to understand what Israel is and what Zionism is. Now, we would like to believe that Israel was the promise that God would gather back, the people that had been oppressed around the world and give them a country again. But what happened was the family of the Rothschilds created that state for their purposes. They work with Scripture, just like the devil quoted Scripture to Jesus. The Rothschilds used Scripture to fulfill their own plans and their own aims. So they created a completely Jewish state under their control. So the Mossad is really along with the CIA, it's sort of a multi-headed hydra. And in fact, let me just mention, because I found the figure I was looking for, which is Cardinal Egan in New York, Archbishop of New York City, Archbishop of the capital of the world. Now, we know in the Babylon system, New York was named capital of the world. It's been published. It was mentioned in the UN. And so he's the Archbishop. Now, you see Cardinal Egan sitting between John McCain and Barack Obama just before the election. So the pick was made. The pick was made by the church. The pick for the president. It's quite clear. So who is Cardinal Egan? Well, here I'm going to tell you, because this will show you how the order goes. He's the American Pope, head of the American branch of the Knights of Malta, head of the Knights of Columbus, Supreme Council of he's the occult master of the following groups, and it goes right down to the Pentagon. So the occult master of the Supreme Council of the 33rd degree American Scottish Rite Freemasonry, occult master of the Council on Foreign Relations, occult master of the B'nai B'rith and the Anti-Defamation League, occult master of the CIA, National Security Agency, the FBI, the Office of Naval Intelligence, and the Pentagon. So there you have it. Why does the Pentagon need an occult master? Why does the FBI need an occult master? Well, they have one, and that's in the person of Cardinal Egan. So you have, you have a pretty dangerous power structure. They have their agenda. They have a good grasp on the globe, and this is their system. But their system is basically an illusion. It's based upon fraud. It's based upon, ideas that they have perpetrated on the unknowing people of the earth, such as the Pope owns all the land of the earth. Now we know the earth belongs to the Lord, and yet here the Pope has claimed all the land. So all of this is about power, control, money, and of course the love of money, which is their strong suit. These people love to have the money to control others. So that's what we're up against. There's a whole occult system, and why should we be surprised? I mean, John, the Apostle John, who had an incredible revelation of watching 2,000 years of history unfold before his eyes, particularly a time in the far future when he would see the global system completely dominate. But what did he say? He said the whole thing is led by, the merchants, the mighty men of the earth that are running this beast system, and it's all led by pharmakia. Now, pharmakia, of course, we associate with pharmaceuticals and the pharmaceutical industry. The original meaning of the Greek word is sorcery. So, that's where the whole thing is led by sorcery. And that's why
you said that in this document it named the cardinal the occult. Is that OCCULT, the occult master?
Occult master of the CIA. Yes, he is.
So they come right out and tell you, yeah, this is a cult. Yeah, we're doing this for Lucifer. We're doing this for. And actually, in my book, the character Lucifer is simply, somebody that's been demonized because he's been trying to give the slaves on the planet their freedom. Now,
that we see. So we look at this power structure. We realize that the plantation is, just the United States is a plantation that the Pope owns, and he uses the Crown of England and now the Queen as a tax collector. And the Queen uses the IRS, which is, her collection agency, and the Social Security, which is her agency. And a lot of people now have seen the Social Security documents coming from England. And so, basically then the people are just slaves on the plantation. They don't have full property rights. They have tenancy on their own land. They never completely own their property. It's always leased by the states, which are subcorporations of the United States Corporation, which is a subcorporation of the Vatican. It's a private ecclesiastical trust under the Vatican. And in fact, if you look at canon law, you will find that the Pope has the right to change any court, any Supreme Court decisions, any laws at any time in the world that he wants. That's the way they have laid out the plan. So it's time for the people to stand up, and that's what this period is about. When you look at the book of Revelation, John says that the 10 kings turned against the harlot, the great whore, Babylon, and they strip her naked. And that's what we're looking at now. The Vatican is being exposed. It's going to be laid bare, laid naked before the world to see what she did with all of the pedophilia, the sale of children for obscene purposes and hideous things for child sacrifice. That's why the work of Ted Gunderson is so important, because Ted is a former FBI regional director or office director of the LA office. Ted has exposed the worldwide trafficking in children, which is, and laid out the case that for a young male child, especially a blonde-haired young male child, they'll get $40,000. And this is the worldwide trafficking. Now we know Gorbachev was involved in this, and in the former Soviet Union. We know other people, our former officials and heads of state have been involved in the trafficking of children. It's probably the most grievous sin that we live with in our daily life upon this earth. Is what is done with the children, and we need to continue to lay bare this evil program led by sorcery. That's how they keep their control, and part of the sorcery is the pharmaceutical industry.
Absolutely. Let's talk about that for a moment, because you've got a website that I wanted to ask about. I'm gonna wait. See, I've got about 6 minutes. I want to put that on the second half of my YouTube show.
Okay.
But the pharmacia, the that was the subject material for my next book in my Mystery Babylon series.
Oh, that would be a great book.
Because that is every other commercial on television is for a pharmaceutical. You know, there's an illness that you probably don't even know about, but you're going to be suffering from it if you don't take this medicine. If you don't take this medicine, there's a up to a 7,000% markup for these little pills you go down to your Walgreens store and get. And I hope, we can give you your H1N1 flu vaccine too. We can give you that.
Yeah. And how do you like these side effects?
Oh yeah. Read the contraindications, folks. Most of you don't even know what that friggin' word means because you've been dumbed down. Make sure Clay takes this medicine. This is all in my Most Dangerous Men book. Make sure Clay takes this medicine. Now, he may never be right again, man. Make sure you better get long-term care. You better get guardianship of him. You know.
Yep, and you know, it's just. This one that really gets me, you can be watching primetime television, then they go through this tremendous list of side effects and finally end death. Now, what are we doing allowing medicine on the market that can cause death? I mean, it seems to me that that's not a side effect. That's a pretty main effect. And what's more, the drugs, you know, these are not side effects. These are effects, these are direct effects of the drug. They are a result of this Luciferian activity. Even Bill Gates publicly admitted that he sees the usefulness of vaccines with population control. So here's a eugenicist on the order of Mengele, publishing his goals to reduce population. Good friend of Rockefeller, who was one of the primary architects of population control in America. And this is just a really tragic group of people that we have in our midst, but it won't be dispensed, it won't be dispersed if people do not stand up and speak the truth. And we don't need to take up weapons against these people.
That's the thing, you know. In my other Christian identity chat room, they want to go out and kill all the blacks, kill all the Mexicans. I said that makes you as evil as the Zionists you're pointing the finger at.
That's right.
You know, ain't gonna happen with me. I mean, you better hope there ain't a race war because I'll look you up and you'll be the first one I shoot. You know?
Yeah.
You know, because I think we ought to be standing arm in arm with the blacks, with the Mexicans, and with the Chinese, and going, no, we ain't going along with this no more. No, we want our own land, we want our own food, we'll trade with our neighbors, thank you. We'll generate our own energy from the wind and the sun that God gave us. That's what Liberty Village is all about, folks. And that's why all you got to do, if you've got land right now, donate 5 acres, put a little home for veterans on there, a home for children over there, abused children, so we can take them out of this medical system that we're in. Listen to my show last week, or yesterday, a day with Donna Taylor. I mean, her son has been kidnapped by the pharmaceutical industry. He's being fed drugs. I was fed drugs. That's what this whole story is about.
Wow.
They fed me drugs for 3 months and tried to tell my family I was brain dead. Do I sound brain dead to you?
Wow. Amazing.
And Paul Pantone. I mean, I just had Paul Pantone on last week, and all this is linked. All of these shows are linked in this article on my website, on the PDF file, on my website, on Dangerous Men. They put Paul Pantone in a mental institution for 3.5 years because he could run a car on water, on Pepsi, on you could pour Mountain Dew in the gas tank and keep running the motor.
That's criminal, and these criminals have got to be brought to justice, and that's the movement we've been in. All of these republic movements, unfortunately, they've been divided, and that's too bad that personalities and egos have divided the movements, because people would have stood up and stood their ground and just said, no, we're this far and no farther, you know? And that's what the people of America need to do, unite on the land, to go their way and leave this evil Babylon system behind. We need to leave these people behind.
You know, that again, the whole point for Liberty Villages: generate your own power, you know, grow your own food. You don't owe allegiance to nobody except God for giving you the sun and the wind.
Beautiful.
You know, and it's right out of the Bible. Come out of her. It's what they did in Egypt. Come out of her. Come out of this whole Babylonian system. Isn't it interesting?